Deleted Peppa Pig, episode Rainy Day Window, which was never showed on TV. The episode starts with the usual theme tune, but it sounds a bit muffled, like it's being played through an old tape. Peppa appears. "It's raining today. George and I will play inside." The camera slowly zooms in on the window. Outside, the rain falls in a continuous sheet. George stands at the window. He doesn't move. Peppa calls out to him, "George, come play." But he doesn't respond. He just stares out the window. The camera gets closer to his face, and his reflection doesn't match. George turns his head. The reflection stays in place and smiles. Later, Peppa tells Mummy Pig that George is acting strange, but Mummy doesn't react. She just keeps washing dishes. The sound of the water gets louder and louder until it drowns out everything else. Then, at one moment, she turns around. Her eyes are completely black, and in a low voice she says, "The rain won't stop." The scene suddenly shifts. It's night. Peppa wakes up from her bed. Now it's raining inside the room. The walls are wet. The floor is covered in puddles. George is sitting in a corner. He's completely gray, as if the rain washed the color out of him. His voice trembles. "He came from the window." The room starts stretching like it's made of rubber. Voices, many George, begin whispering, "Look at yourself." Peppa looks in the mirror. Her face now has George's wide smile. The mouth is too large. The eyes are empty. The final shot, the camera pulls back. Peppa's house stands alone in black void. The rain pours inside. Behind each window, a gray George, and in each window, a different version of events. Then the screen goes black. Deleted Peppa Pig episode. Peppa is silent, which was never showed on TV. The episode opens in total silence. Peppa is sitting on the floor of her room. The camera pans slowly. She doesn't move, doesn't blink. She just stares at nothing. Mummy Pig walks in cheerfully and says, "Breakfast is ready, Peppa." But her voice plays backward, distorted, wrong. Peppa doesn't respond. Cut to the dining table. The whole family is eating, but no one speaks. The only sound is Daddy Pig chewing, unnaturally loud, wet, and uncomfortable. Everyone is smiling, except Peppa. Her mouth doesn't move. She just sits there, motionless, with empty eyes. In another scene, George offers her a toy. Peppa suddenly turns to face the screen. Fast. The background starts pulsing. The music becomes fragmented, almost digital noise. Scene after scene, Peppa appears in different places, at school, in the garden, in the bath, but never speaks. She always stares at the viewer. Eventually, Mummy Pig is shown whispering to herself in the hallway.
"If she speaks again, it will all start over."
Then she begins to cry. In the final shot, the camera slowly zooms in on Peppa's face. Her eyes begin to bleed. She opens her mouth, but instead of speaking, she unleashes a horrific, distorted scream that drowns out everything. Cut to black. Then one final whisper.
"Now you are silent."
Deleted Peppa Pig episode. The Reflection, which was never showed on TV. It began like any ordinary day. Peppa was in the bathroom, brushing her teeth. The usual cheerful music played, but it felt slower, off-key. She looked up, and her reflection didn't smile. It just stared. Its eyes were darker, expression blank, motionless. Throughout the day, things got stranger. When Peppa moved, her reflection lagged behind. Sometimes it moved before she did. At dinner, she glanced toward the window, and there it was again. her reflection just standing there, staring at her from the glass. She wasn't even near it. She told Mummy Pig, but Mummy didn't look up from her plate. She simply muttered,
"Don't look too long, Peppa. You might see too much."
That night, Peppa heard whispers coming from the bathroom, faint, garbled, like they were coming from behind the mirror. She crept inside and froze. Her reflection was grinning, an unnaturally wide, stretched smile. Then it moved, fast, slamming its hooves against the glass. Cracks started to form. The screen glitched. For a moment, everything went black. When the picture returned, it was morning. Mummy Pig walked into the bathroom. Peppa stood by the sink, brushing her teeth like nothing ever happened. But just before the scene faded out, the mirror showed two Peppias. One brushing her teeth, and the other, behind the cracks, still grinning. The episode ended with no credits. Just a silent black screen. Deleted Peppa Pig. Episode The Door in the Hill, which was never showed on TV. The episode begins with Peppa, George, Mummy Pig, and Daddy Pig enjoying a walk in the countryside. It's a sunny, peaceful day. Everything looks normal until George points toward a distant hill and says, "There's a door." Daddy Pig chuckles. "There's no door in that hill, George." But when the camera pans, the viewer clearly sees it, a small wooden door built right into the grassy slope. The others don't seem to notice it. Only George. That night, George goes missing. Peppa follows small muddy footprints through the garden, into the woods, and toward the hill. The door is now open. Inside, complete darkness, no wind, no sound, just blackness. She steps in. What follows is a sequence of silent, disturbing shots. Narrow dirt tunnels, whispering walls, the faint echo of George calling, "Peppa, I'm here, under the ground." She eventually reaches a strange room, a hollowed-out chamber in the earth. George is standing in the corner, facing the wall. He says, "We play forever here. They said you'd come too." Peppa turns to leave, but the door is gone. Final scene. It's morning. The family is standing near the hill. Mummy, Daddy, and George. But no Peppa. Daddy Pig looks directly at the screen and calmly says, "We've only ever had one child." Cut to black.